What up and welcome to the Beneath the Dirt podcast. I'm your host, Rollbone. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 211 in the motherfucking high. And I got a special episode planned for this week. Yesterday was the 10-year anniversary for ICP's Mighty Death Pop. I knew I wanted to do a breakdown of this album. And the guest I got with me today, we did Tempest a few months back, and we fucking tore that review apart. It was so dope, so fun. Had to bring him back for this one. Jokerz GAllery in the motherfucking high. What's good?
What up, y'all? Yeah, we went like 2.5, 3 hours on Tempest. So whenever you messaged me about this album, I was like, you realize there's 3 bonus material albums plus the regular album. We might be here like 8 hours if we do this shit.
Exactly.
And it's all good shit, too.
It is. Mighty Death Pop, man. 10 years. Crazy. That it's time just goes by so fucking fast, man. The fact that the second deck is, we're already celebrating, these albums that have double-digit year anniversaries is fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, Bang Pow Boom's 13. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy as fuck. And when the second deck was announced, I remember being like apprehensive about it, but kind of excited at the same time because at the time the Tempest for me was just it wasn't it. I've grown to love it now. Like I said, we did the review.
Go back and listen to the review if you doubt it.
Yeah, it's a fire fucking album. But back then, wasn't really feeling it. Going into this new era, the Dark Carnival returns and all this shit. We got Bang Pow Boom, which was a dope album. The return of ICP and Mikey Clark. And then Mighty Death Pop was revealed, announced, again produced by Mikey Clark. And by that point, it was just after Bang Pow Boom, I was going into Mighty Death Pop like, all right, we're back into a groove here. This is going to be the shit.
Oh yeah, and we talk about time flying. I was just listening to Behind the Paint audio book. It was the last chapter when he's talking about like Shangri-La and shit. And like the whole fucking message of that chapter is time flies. Like, don't take shit for granted. Enjoy the shit while you're young. Don't just let it fly by and shit. That's basically what he's saying the whole time. And then, we had just done the Mighty Death Pop show for a 5-piece. So I'm sitting there thinking like, I can't believe it's been 10 years since that album come out. And then he's talking about how time flies and shit. It's like with ICP, man, they're always like 10 to 15 years older than the Juggalos. Then like you catch up to what their wavelength was 10 or 15 years down the road. Once you catch up to the age they were when they recorded it, you start seeing that shit way more clear. I remember they were even talking about that with Shangri-La itself. Like Violent J's talking about it in the book. Like hopefully Juggalos that hated it whenever it came out in 2002, once they're 20 years older, they'll hear that shit and fucking appreciate it. And that shit is true.
It's so true, man. A lot of their shit, even revisiting the Mighty Death Pop album and listening to what they're saying on this album, man, like people just dismiss ICP because a couple of white guys in clown paint who rap, but there's a message behind these songs and the themes and shit, and there's real meaning behind the stuff.
And I like during the lead up to Mighty Death Pop coming out, like they hyped it forever. If you remember, Hallowicked 2010 is when they debuted The Face. So almost 2 calendar years later until it actually came out. So people were fucking waiting for it. Like I said, there's 3 albums of bonus material. So there was a ton of shit coming out. So people were waiting for it, but they got rewarded for that waiting. Like I said, the fucking Joker card itself is damn near flawless to me. The bonus material, I was expecting I might listen to those 5 times total and the entire time I own them. And I listen to that Covers album probably once every 2 or 3 months just because there's so much fun material on it. So they delivered for the weight that they put out for the almost 2 years from the time that they debuted the card until it actually dropped.
They essentially gave us 4 albums on one day.
Yeah, straight up. Like you had 5 hours worth of material to listen to whenever you got home.
They had all the outtakes and everything. It was dope listening to the outtakes, them fucking up in the studio and shit.
Yep, straight up. I love heroin.
Yeah. So dope, man. Like I love listening to them fucking doing shit like that.
Yeah, hell yeah. I could listen to a whole CD of just their outtakes like that. Because that shit lasts some of them last 10, 15 minutes. I'll listen to the whole fucking thing.
Right. Yeah.
Like the ones that were on the end of Bizarre Bazaar when they're just bullshitting. Rude Boy got paid, like that shit. Like I'd listen to all that shit.
Yep. It's their creativity, and I think even Mikey Clark said it in an interview at some point where that they grinded the fuck out of this album. They kind of burnt out on themselves, and they just, Mikey Clark's back producing with them. He just did the Pug Ugly piece, but it's been 10 years pretty much to the day since we've had Mikey Clark and ICP. But I'm pretty sure I remember an interview, either Mikey Clark or ICP, where they were just like, we basically recorded 4 albums. We kind of just got sick of each other.
Yeah, I remember him talking about that and talking about time flying. Like, it had been 10 years since Mikey Clark worked with them that time. That was a longer break than he took originally when he stopped working with them during the recording of Dark Lotus and didn't come back until like the Tempest era. So this is the longest break that Mike and the Clowns have taken.
Yeah, it's dope to have him back.
He's the third member. I mean, he's literally listed in CD covers as the third member of ICP for a reason.
We can't forget Legs Diamond either, who is on Mighty Death
He's the
Pop.
fourth member.
Yeah, like Legs Diamond and Mikey Clark. I know people love Mikey Clark, but we can't forget about Legs Diamond because he is very crucial to the ICP sound as well.
Oh yeah, and he hosted fucking Shockumentary.
Yeah. So the fucking alternative kids with the green Kelly t-shirt. All that shit.
Got the fresh Kelly green for all the alternative kids with chain wallets. They can sport that and look fresh.
Nope. And they're both all over this album. And we're going to fucking dive into this album. 10 years, Mighty Death Pop. We got the intro. A dope little intro. We got a couple characters in the beginning. It's a theme throughout the album. Kind of introducing the Death Pop, talking about the Death Pop. You got a couple people. I guess they're on a roof, and one guy's like, "I'm gonna jump from this roof to that roof," and his girlfriend's like, "No, don't do it." And he's like, "Watch me fly, bitch."
Watch me fly, bitch.
Yeah, fucking goes for it, misses, and fucking falls, and then it's the Death Pop.
Straight up. Perfect fucking opener for the album. It reminds me of the if you remember the commercial they put out for Mighty Death Pop. It was a bunch of like ridiculousness styled clips where people were like fucking up, falling through shit, and they put the Death Pop every time the person hit. Like there's one where a dude jumps from one roof to the other and he goes through the roof, and as he goes through the roof it does the Death Pop sound. So like, yeah, that was perfectly lined up with the commercial that they were playing. That's what I was seeing the whole time I was listening to it.
Hell yeah. I love that shit. The action, I don't even know if you could call it a song. When listening to it now, kind of analyzing it for the review, it kind of reminds me of the Great Malenko intro song, only because in the sense that they're rapping but talking, introducing the character, kind of like how they did with the Malenko intro song. And it's just so fucking dope. I love that shit when they're rapping, but it's like spoken word shit, like kind of blending the two together.
They did that a lot in the early days, like kind of like Ringmaster's Word and that type of shit.
Yep. I love that shit. The who knew? It's just great opener, short. It's like a minute long. And then we got the next track, the actual title track, Mighty Death Pop. It's actually a cover of a song. I probably should have looked that up.
Everyone's a Winner by Hot Chocolate.
There you go. I have no idea who the fuck that is. I can't say I've ever even heard the original, but I remember, somehow, some way, people always find the samples, and they figured out the sample for that shit. This is another track explaining the Mighty Death Pop character. Kind of a party track, and it's kind of like the theme throughout the album, like sound-wise, where it's just kind of upbeat, up-tempo type stuff.
Yeah, it's like, clowns talking about death, but it's also upbeat sounding, which makes it even eerier.
Right.
Which works perfect with their dynamics.
Exactly. They're fucking clowns.
Clowns.
They're clowns. Happy sounding shit, but talking about death. I love the very beginning. Violent J, party, it's what you choose. Wild and wicked, you abuse, well, fuck it. No need to heed. Hell with caution, increase the speed. I love the flow on this shit.
Oh yeah. And then the chorus, when the mighty death pop, everything stopped. Like, it's just simple, tells you exactly what the chord's all about and shit like that. Living on the wild side, just hope it's a long ride. That's what the card's about. Like that dude that was on the roof that died at the beginning in the intro. He's like living his life on the wild side, like not fucking he's taking shit for granted, just thinking he's good, whatever he does. And that's what the whole card's about. And that's what the chorus of this song's about. So it's a perfect title track. Really good title track too, man. Slept on. Not a lot of people bring that up whenever they talk about like the actual title tracks of the cards, but this is one of the better ones.
It's fire, man. Like, a common theme throughout this record is the hooks are just super catchy. When the mighty death pop, you either rise or drop. You keep playing, he will come. When it all shuts off, you done.
You done.
Love that shit, man.
Hell yeah. Like, Mikey Clark's beats always work so well with Jay's hooks.
But Mikey,
I mean, that's what happens working 30 years together.
That, and Mikey Clark is not your traditional hip-hop producer either. He's just, if you look at Mikey Clark, you wouldn't think this dude produces rap shit. You know?
Yeah.
But it works because it's like, it's rap, but it's like rhythmic, like rock music. And I think that's why they work so well together too. And they
if it was just traditional boom bap, like the Clowns like persona wouldn't stand out so much through the fucking music. Mikey Clark brings the fucking persona of the Clowns to life with his fucking production.
100%. And he's not afraid to play with sounds, add all these crazy sound effects and shit.
I mean, he's using Hot Chocolate,
Right.
a group called Hot Chocolate for the fucking sample. Like, it's a popular song whenever it was out because I was at a wrestling event and I was with this Juggalette and I was playing it for her. She's like, she knew the song. She's like, this is Hot Chocolate. I was like, who the fuck is Hot Chocolate? But yeah, it was a popular song and then it ended up getting used. I think it's perfect for this fucking song, for this title track though. Like you said, it sets up the rest of the album, like the sound you're gonna get for it so well.
Yep, just that upbeat, up-tempo shit. And it throughout the album, it doesn't really slow down. There's a couple slow parts, but the way they put everything together, it works so goddamn good. And leave it to Mikey Clark coming up with obscure ass samples. Just look at any of their shit, and if you look up the actual samples, you're like, I have no idea what any of this stuff is.
Yep. He said he had like a box of like foreign records that he had back in the day that him and like Shaggy would look through and find dope shit to fucking sample that nobody ever heard. It worked because other than that Juggalette that immediately knew what it was, I'd never met another Juggalo that knew what the fuck it was.
Oh, even like I said at the beginning, I was like, I should have looked it up, but I forgot. Night of the Chainsaw. This is, I believe, the third installment of the Night of the Chainsaw, or of the Night of series.
Night of, yeah.
Yeah, Night of the Axe, Night of the 44.
Night of the 44.
And then eventually Night of Red Rum. But Night of the Chainsaw, this is where like the aggression comes in from the Clowns, like that wicked shit. Still kind of fun, but more dark than the previous track. You know, he's got Chuck, his fucking chainsaw. Cut him up, Chuck. Cut him up, Chuck. I love Shaggy on the fucking hook doing that shit.
Oh yeah, get bloody.
Yep. Cut him up, Chuck. Violent J, the beginning of his verse, PCP, meth, mad, antidepressant pills. Everything spills into one pot. On top of that, I smoke rock. Like, leave it to Jay to come up with some wild ass shit like that.
Yeah, a whole bar of just all kinds of fucking drugs he's doing.
It's just, you know, him getting ready to go on the fucking Night of the Chainsaw. Again, with the hook, you can't calm. I'm trying to remember how it goes. You can't calm me down. You can't like. I love that shit, man. I wish they would play that shit live more. That'd be a great fucking live track.
Oh yeah, and then like they put it on White Pop as well, and 3-6 Mafia is on there, so even that version's pretty dope. But speaking of like other versions, when I was putting together 5-piece, I came across a director's cut of the music video I'd never seen before. I ended up putting it on 5-piece. It's fucking better than the original. It was just the director that actually directed the video. It's just his YouTube page. He just put it up there. He's only got a few thousand views from like 10 years ago when he put it up, but it's pretty fucking dope. So if anybody ain't ever seen that, just like search director's cut Night of the Chainsaw. It's a bunch of different fucking clips. It's got more details to like the murder scenes and shit. I guess maybe that's why it got cut. It was a little bit too violent for what they were, probably didn't want YouTube to like possibly restrict it like they did Deathbed by Zool. Yeah. But the fucking director cut is sweet, man. So if anybody hasn't seen that, definitely check that shit out.
I had no idea that there was a director's cut. That's the first time I'm hearing of that.
I didn't either until I was editing 5-piece and I searched Night of the Chainsaw video because I was just going to put the regular one on there. And then I seen like 2 fucking videos down. It said director's cut. And I was like, the fuck is this? Clicked on it and I'd never seen the shit. I was like, let's go it on the show.
It's funny because in my notes, I don't even have that there's a video for this. I just forgot in general that there was a video. I remember it now. Kind of cheesy, kind of like, zombies, like B horror shit, kind of corny, but it works, man. It's ICP. It's the Night of the Chainsaw. I fucking love that song, man. It's
completely different video they use of ICP in the director's cut. Like on the regular one, it's like them being filmed precisely to be filmed for a video. On the director's cut, it's them on the like news screen, because if you remember, the dude's watching the news about all the fucking zombie outbreak, and they're up on the fucking screen like rapping and shit. So it kind of takes a little bit of the cheese factor out. And like I said, there's also a bunch of like the fucking deaths of people getting like chainsaws ran through their chest and shit that wasn't on the actual video, but kind of helps it out too.
Cut him up, Chuck. I have to watch that video. Look that shit up when we're done recording that, because that sounds fucking dope.
Oh yeah, it's fresh. I was marking out for it. Like, holy shit, I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, man. And you said it's only got a couple thousand views?
Yeah. So, and it's been up for 10 years since the motherfucker made it. So a lot of people ain't peeped it.
Damn.
I mean, I look for Juggalo shit on YouTube at least once a week just to like for archives if I'm going to use it for a documentary or something. And I'd never seen it. And I look fucking Juggalo shit, search it like once a week on YouTube. So I don't know how I missed that one, but I did. And it's dope.
That's really fucking dope. Then we get into Chris Benoit. Kind of slow it down a little bit, but right back with the wicked shit. A great metaphor for just completely losing your shit and doing fucking crazy shit. Because Chris Benoit, if you don't know, killed his wife, killed his son, and then killed himself over a weekend, over a couple days. Fucked up shit. This was the single for the album, right?
Yeah, it was the first video that they put out.
I remember when this single got released, and I was talking earlier about like, oh, I'm hyped for the album. I'm always hyped for new clown shit, but when the single came out, I was like, I don't know, man. Not really feeling the single. It's not the shit.
They pick the weirdest singles.
They really do. Like Night of the Chainsaw would have been a fire first single. Like start out with some shit like that.
Or When I'm Clowning. Yeah,
like some hype shit. But within the album, Chris Benoit is a fucking great song. I love Chris Benoit.
It works. It works just like WTF, talking about them picking bad singles. Like WTF came out from Fearless Fred, and I didn't like it that much. Put it in the album, and they reworked it a little bit whenever they released the album version. That souped it up a little bit, but I liked it way better once I heard it throughout the album instead of a standalone single.
Yeah,
like Fury should have been the fucking first single for Fearless Fred Fury, no doubt.
Oh, without a doubt. I've said before that's like my favorite slash, in my opinion, the best song of the second deck. Like it's just an epic fucking song.
Yep, it's up their top 5 for just almost any Juggalo you ask. It'll be in their top 5 of the second deck. And they pick WTF instead.
Right.
Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
Same with Chris Benoit. Like it's a really weird song to pick as a standalone. I remember whenever they were releasing it, they were doing interviews, and they said there was an old beat that they didn't use from Mikey Clark. So maybe that's why they thought it would hit a little bit harder, is because it was an old school fucking beat, and they wanted to kind of give a nod to the OG Juggalos and shit. But once it's put on the album, it fits so much better. Just a standalone single, it's not a single. It's just not. There's certain songs that are singles, and there's certain songs that you hear and you're like, that's a weird fucking pick to make your video of, and this is one of them. Yeah. I think like the dopest part of the video is they put like flashes of Chris Benoit up. Like if you're watching that shit in the dark and like 4 a.m. or something, that shit flashes up, scares the shit out of you, knowing what he did.
Yeah, hell yeah. They did a bunch of videos for this album.
Yep.
But I love this song. Like I said, it's just a great metaphor for just completely losing your shit. Going Chris Benoit, it's not about Chris Benoit, but it's just the whole idea of just losing your shit, you know. I love the flow that they do. They always do these unique flows. Strobe light, let go, hold tight, wake up, and then they got the what the fuck am I doing in between.
What the fuck am I doing? Yeah.
They can't believe that they're fucking doing this shit. I love it.
You talked about like how it's not just about what Benoit did, it's about like what's going on in his mind as he went from the Benoit that we all know that wrestled at WrestleMania to the dude that fucking like killed his wife and his kid. Like, you know, there's like this carryover transform time to where you go from normally sane to fucking crazy, and like Jay knows all about that. And Behind the Paint, whenever he had that first panic attack, he thought he was going through that. He was like, he said that his aunt had did that, and he like knew that there was like mental illness in his family. And as he was going through that first panic attack, he's like, is this just like the 5 minutes before I go from normally sane that I've always been and switch over until fucking insane to where I'm just chewing on people's faces and shit? So Violent J's speaking from some real deal experiences on that shit too.
Absolutely. And I don't think it needs to be said, but I'll say it anyway. Fuck Chris Benoit, and fuck anybody who says that he should be in the fucking Hall of Fame. Like, that dude's ultimate piece of shit. He doesn't deserve any kind of props.
Yeah, one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen, but outside of the wrestling ring, he's a piece of shit.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, killing your wife and kids, you're like mentally handicapped kid, from what I understand. Like, that's just be choking him out or whatever. Like,
did you really have to use your finishing move on him?
Yeah, like what?
Just crazy.
Fuck? Like a sick fuck, man, to the fucking core.
Fuck. Legit like snap, like Jay was talking about, where you go from just normal you to 15 minutes later you're chewing on people's faces.
Right. Yeah.
That's legit what happened.
Yeah.
I was at an MMA event called Hook and Shoot whenever the night that shit happened, and Chris Jericho was the special guest. He was supposed to take pictures at like intermission with fans or whatever, and like he was sitting beside the fucking UFC cage the whole night, and he kept looking at his phone like the whole time. We were like, why the fuck ain't this dude watching the fucking fights? He's right beside the cage. He's just looking at his phone the whole time. And then he got up and left before the event was over to where he got to meet people and shit. And it's because he was getting texts from like Chavo and shit talking about Chris Benoit going fucking crazy. He's probably getting texts from actual Chris Benoit because that night was the night that it was going down. And he was one of Benoit's best friends came up with him.
Yeah. That shit was why I was watching wrestling at that point and everything. And I remember if Raw had that whole fucking tribute show, and then like halfway through Raw, you flip on CNN and they're like, this is a murder suicide, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they didn't know it was a murder suicide, and they like thought that somebody broke into the house and killed them all. So they were doing like a tribute show, like they did for like Owen Hart or somebody that passed away, trying to make him look like as good a person as possible. And then like as soon as you turn that off, you turn on CNN, like you said, he's like, well, that's not exactly the narrative they were pushing on Raw.
Right. Yeah. Then they fucking never re-aired that show. It's never been up on the network or anything.
I still got it recorded from TV from the night it came on. I still got it's a VHS, so I can't watch it because I ain't got no fucking VCR, but I still got the tape.
That's funny.
You remember Violent J talking about that joke that Vampiro played on him in WCW with Benoit? No. All right, Benoit hates cutting promos. He wasn't good at it. So like ICP and Vampiro kicking it backstage, and there's this fucking studio that like Mean Gene would interview everybody in. It's like an 8x8 like metal fucking box. People would just go in and cut promos. Like, if you're going to Evansville next week, you're cutting a promo saying you're coming to Evansville to whoop somebody's ass or whatever. And like Vampiro knows that it's Benoit in there, and they walk by it, and Vampiro beats on the fucking door real loud, so it like makes Benoit stop his interview, and they got to restart and everything. And then Vampiro runs off. Benoit opens the door, pissed as shit, and just Violent J standing there. He said he almost shit his pants.
Yeah, I do remember that. Now that you say that, that's fucking hilarious.
Vampiro's a dick for that, but that's funny as shit.
That is funny as fuck.
Shout out to Vampiro. He's at the gathering this year. Dope to see him back.
Hell yeah, Vampiro's the shit, man. The Deadpool.
Yes, sir. Him and Raven.
Yep. But yeah, Chris Benoit, dope track. Fuck the person. Then we got the Blaster. This is like classic IC Pete right here, where they're targeting like a specific person or a specific type of person. You know, Bang Pow Boom, they had The Catch a Predator, that whole fucking thing. And then on this album, they got the Blaster, you know, the Bully Blaster, talking about people that give you shit, people that are just straight up fucking assholes, pieces of shit, whatnot. Dope ass track. I love Violent J's like screaming on here, the Bully Blaster. I love this track.
Sounds like it was coming from like personal experience from Jay for sure growing up. I mean, he always talks about how when they were going through school, it was like touch a crack and you have to like kiss the Bruce Brothers or something like that. Like people were hating on them growing up all the way through. And then I also like wrote down like the second verse, he's talking about the military, which is probably like kind of inspired from Jump Steady and that time that Jay went and visited Jump Steady in North Carolina. Probably seen a lot of asshole like military dudes. So that's probably where that fucking verse comes from. And then to keep it in the family, he's talking about like JJ following in his footsteps like later on in the song. I thought it was dope how it's like chronologically broke down like that. Because in the first verse, he's talking about a bully at school. And in the second verse, he's like, never thought the Blaster would be back, but he has to. We need that. So, like, you know, he even works at the end of the song that he didn't think the bully was going to come back, or the Bully Blaster was going to come back out, but the military fucking dude broke him out because he had to get rid of him. So, pretty dope song by Jay, man. Just another one where he flexes storytelling fucking skills.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, the chronological order of how everything goes. My only critique of this song is I wish he would have, instead of, like, you talked about, like, his son like becoming the Bully Blaster, the tradition kind of carrying on. I kind of wish that was the whole third verse instead of him going into the boss after that. Like, it would have been dope if he was able to like break it down of like maybe him teaming up with fucking JJ and going after people and shit.
If this album came out today, he probably would, but JJ was probably 8. Right. he'd probably throw JJ on this track now.
I love that shit, man. You know, when he's like, I spoke to my son. I had an intuition. Did you have anything to do with this? He gave me no answer, just a hug and a kiss, and said, don't worry, Dad. Everything will be fine. Just you pay it no mind. It's all over. I love that shit. So
yeah, man. The way Violent J can use the word play that he does in these fucking storytelling songs is great. Like, a lot of times the thing that's whack about storytelling songs, you can tell people's putting words in just to fit it into the story, and it doesn't fit the song, man. But none of the lyrics that Jay's spitting here like hit your ear to where it's like he's forcing that in to keep the story going. That's just how good of a storyteller he is. I think he's top 5 ever in hip hop, like not underground, in hip hop, like period. Like, he's up there with fucking the real deal dudes, not fucking underground. Without
a doubt. I've said it so many times, but it just needs to keep being said that he's one of the best storytellers in hip hop, because he is. Yes, it's different. It's not it's not traditional hip hop. It's horror-esque, horror movie type shit. But I mean, come on, man. Like, you listen to the Blaster, you can see the shit in your fucking head as he's rapping it along. You know, he's in the military. This guy's being a fucking asshole, and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill this motherfucker. And you know, talking to his son, like you could picture him like down, like concerned, like, is this okay? And his son's just like, don't worry, Dad, don't worry, it's all over now. Like,
straight up
shit in your head. It's a movie.
That's a sign of a great storytelling song, like done well. Is the music video doesn't have to be made; it's playing in your head as you hear the song because the song's so descriptive.
100%. Jay is just so goddamn good at it. Underrated. Maybe not in our scene, but in hip hop in general, underrated as fuck.
Yeah.
And then we got Kickin'. This one is where it kind of slows down a little bit. It's been kind of hype throughout the beginning of this album. Kicking kind of slows it down. You got the samples from, you know, kung fu movies and shit. I like it. Violent J's flow, super animated. You can tell he's punching in every fucking 3 words, but it's super dope the way he's just. I kind of like the new era where they, you know, on some nerd recording shit using Pro Tools and whatnot, like where they could just do shit so much better, get way more animated with the flows, and whereas back in the day, it's like you got to do that shit in one take because you're recording that shit on a reel.
Yep, straight up. Like they would literally be like moving sound levels themselves by hand during the songs to match it where they wanted it to be back in the day. Exactly. That was Pro Tools. Yeah. Pro Tools were your hands and how many homies you had that a set of hands that you could use.
Right. But this track is fucking dope. Violent J on the first 2 verses, killing it with a crazy, you know, weird flow that Violent J does, but he nails it. I love the line where he says, "Legs busy as fuck, like Mr. Krabs' feet."
Straight up.
Picture it, you know, watching SpongeBob and Mr. Krab, and his little legs are fucking just.
That's another line he probably got from JJ having kids watching fucking SpongeBob.
Yep. And then Shaggy comes in, kills it on the 3rd verse, just kills it with that double time flow. Just an overall dope track, more mellow, but just keeping it with that, you know, we know that they love the karate shit, the ninja stuff, going back to fucking Ninja and Tunnel of Love and all that.
Yep.
Dope song.
I wonder if this is the last Ninja song. That's what I got in my notes for this song. I wonder if this is the last Ninja song, because shortly after that, Magic Ninja was invented. So this might be the last Joe Bruce Lee Ninja song.
That's true. That's true.
The beat on this fucking song is crazy, especially in a car. Like, it's one of those fucking blunt ride fucking songs for sure. It'll have the windows rattling whenever you hit. You talking about the fucking line that you dug. I like the one where knocking eyeball out like you Slick Rick. That shit's dope. Yeah. Then they had Slick Rick at the Gathering this year. It's a full circle.
Yep. Yeah, the Violent J, not only a dope storyteller, but dope with the hip hop references too. You know, knock an eyeball out like Slick Rick.
It's like you Slick Rick.
Yeah, just it's dope. It's fun, and like you said, like this is one of those ones you look in your rearview mirror when you're driving, and that motherfucker just be shaking the cars behind you.
Straight up.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
That shit.
And it's dope that it's like that because, like you said, it's kind of a slow down in the album. But if you're gonna slow it down, you're gonna make the fucking bass fucking pop like that and keep people interested.
Yeah, make that shit fucking hit hard. Mikey Clark, man, underrated when it comes to being a producer. And then you got the next song, which arguably is the best beat on the entire album. Easily one of the best songs on the album. Shaggy solo, Bazooka Joey. This is like, you can't help but dance to this motherfucker when this song comes on.
This song has the effect on me like Dead Man Walking has on Luke.
Yeah, 100%, man. Anytime Shaggy performs this shit live, when I saw him on the Fuck the Fuck Off motherfucker tour, and I was dancing like a motherfucker when this shit came on. I love this song, man. Just a banger from Mikey Clark. Shaggy kills it.
And like, he gets into the story like from the first line. You know exactly what the song's about. Grandpappy was a World War II vet, and I found his bazooka set. Yep. You know what the song's about in the fucking first rhyme that he does. Super dope rhyme schemes from Shags too. There's one where, let's see, he's talking about fuck yeah, I grabbed the rockets, beer truck in the scope, and I lock it. Blew the wheels off, flipped it twice. I'm realizing with that Zuka, I'm nice and I'm dancing. And then like Mike always brings up when we talk about this song that I'm dancing. It's like a throwback, like a shout out to Natural Born Killers. Hit him with a brick and I'm dancing.
Yeah, I never thought of that. That's fucking dope.
Shout out to Mike Sears on that. That's the one. He's the one to figure that shit out. But you know, Shaggy being the fucking West Coast fucking hip hop head that he is, that's definitely a shout out to that song.
Without a doubt. And leave it, you know, props to Mike. He's a fucking encyclopedia of hip hop. Like, at any given moment, he'll be like, "Yeah, that album came out in '94." He'll start rapping some shit. It's like, dude, that dude's nuts with it. I love it.
Yeah, like we'll do like the 5 questions at the end, the 5 pieces sometimes, and I'll like just randomly ask him like, "What's your favorite albums from 2005?" He'll have 14 of them just off the top of his head that he knows came out in 2005. Like, how the fuck did you do that?
Right. Super dope. Shout out to Mike Sears.
Talking about how like there was a lot of videos made for this album. I wish this song had a video. It's just Shaggy rolling around the city blowing shit up with a bazooka. It'd be really possible now with like CGI and shit. It wouldn't be too bad. Probably back in 2012, it'd cost a pretty amount of coin. They already wasted 40 G's on the Forever video and didn't put it out. So they're probably a little strapped for cash for videos.
Yeah, it would be a dope video. I just, man, just such a dope ass song. The chorus, he's dancing with a goddamn bazooka. Bazooka Joey.
And it just works perfect with Shaq's persona, man. I mean, there's a reason that he's not allowed to carry guns anymore.
True. Right.
Because if he had a bazooka, he'd probably be blowing shit up with it.
Yep.
Like he did with a Desert Eagle.
Right. That motherfucker, man, like you believe when he tells his stories. You know, he had that incident where he had the fucking home invasion, getting Trey recording shit back.
Pistol whip that dude.
That didn't give a fuck.
I remember I think it was on Howard Stern. I know it was on Howard Stern. I think they were promoting this album, but they were on there and they were talking about having kids and not like fucking bitches on the road anymore. And like Howard Stern started making fun of them, calling them Insane Clown Posse, like they had fucking, you know, gotten more normal. And then they started talking about, Shaggy started talking about that case right there. And Howard Stern's like, how long ago that happened? Like 10 years ago? Violent J looks at him. He's like, last year. Shaggy's still living that life for a long fucking time.
For real.
Shaggy's like, yeah, that's the reason I couldn't get into Canada.
Yep. Shaggy's the shit, man. When I did the VIP on the Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker tour, and I'm sitting there talking to him, and I forget how it came up, but I was like, yeah, I said something like, you ain't getting any younger, and he like postured me up, and he's like, fuck you talking about? I'm 30. All right, my bad.
That's dope. Yeah, Shez, man, you tell he just generally is having a good time being Shaggy 2 Dope these days, man. It just seems like he's fucking got shit figured out. It's dope to see too.
Yeah, hell yeah. Shaggy been killing it these last few years without a doubt. And Bazooka Joey's just a fucking banger.
Always love whenever 2 Dope gets a fucking solo track on a card.
Without a doubt.
Outside of looking at the last song to see what it's titled, because I always look at the last track for Joker cards first, because I always dig those last tracks. Other than that, the next thing I'm looking for is a Shaggy 2 Dope fucking solo. Which reminds me of Luke the Goon during our Yum Yum Bedlam fucking listening party when he's not liking the album. We're like 8 tracks into it, and I've already listened to it, and him and Mike hadn't heard it yet. And he's like, just tells me, is there a Shag solo on this that I can look forward to? And I was like, shit, man, I don't remember. Because I didn't want to crush his hopes and make him hate the album even more and tell him there wasn't.
Yeah. Solo always welcomed.
Hell yeah, those Shaggy solos save some albums sometimes. It would have saved it for Luke the Goon.
Yep. But Bazooka Joey, it just continues on with the fucking dope ass album that we're already fucking going through. Hype ass track, man. I love that shit so much.
And you ain't got to fuck around and like take life for granted to die from that death pop. Shaggy just shoot that motherfucker at you.
Right. Big fact.
That's the heat-seeking death pop right there.
Yep, the death pop.
I like whenever he's like, he realizes he has a bazooka now. He's like, I'm done taking orders. You got a bazooka on your shoulder. You're be done taking orders too. That's the mentality you're gonna have.
Yep. Perfect. It's such a dope track, man. Shaggy just owns it. You know, silly shit like fucking running around with a bazooka, but he pulled it off fucking perfectly with that song.
Swear my shoulder, loving the shot. Fucked up an H&R block.
So dope.
So ignorant but dope. It's just like ignorant as fucking 2 Dope shit, man. That's like fucking Beverly Kills style 2 Dope. I love that shit.
Yes. Up next we got Shooting Stars. And this is a song all about killing Chris Brown. This was around the time when Chris Brown beat the shit out of Rihanna. And it goes without saying, fuck Chris Brown. That dude's a piece of shit. You know, you don't get a pass for fucking putting hands on a woman under any circumstance. That's just some bitch shit. But a dope ass track, Violent J. Leave it to Violent J to just be like, you know what? Fuck Chris Brown. We're just gonna talk about this motherfucker going to the Grammys and shit at the Staples Center. We're just fucking kill him, you know.
He's like listening to the news reports at the beginning of it, getting madder and madder as he's hearing the reports and shit.
Yep.
Super dope track. It's like a talk about ICP, like whenever they were on Howard Stern, they were calling them Insane Clown Posse, saying they've kind of grown up a little bit. I think this track shows how much they've grown since fucking Carnival Carnage. You go from blocking your eyes to this one.
Right, yeah.
You go one where they're beating bitches down, and you go to another one where Jay's killing the dude for beating the bitches.
Right. So that's
full circle right there.
Yeah, they definitely have grown. They went from beating bitches up to killing people to beat.
Yep, straight up.
Dope track, and Legs Diamond kills it at the end of the song. What if I shot a star up the sky? Like, I love that shit, man.
Yeah, Piggy got to have wings before he could fly.
Yeah, like it's. Can't emphasize enough that Legs Diamond is just as essential when it comes to, you know, the albums that he was a part of, as much as ICP and Mikey Clark, obviously.
I say this with Lee Carver about Zool. I compare him to Dave Grohl. You had it, Dave Grohl to Nirvana, and they went from a really good band to the best band in the world. You had it, Lee Carver to Zool. They went from a really good horrorcore band to my favorite in the fucking underground. You put a fucking Legs Diamond fucking vocal over some ICP shit, and it goes from ICP shit up to the next level.
Yep, without a doubt. I love it. Really not much to say about this track, but it's a dope track. It's short as fuck. It's like maybe 2 minutes long.
It's almost like an interlude or a skit more than a song. It just has a beat and some lyrics to it.
Yep, talking about killing Chris Brown. And you know, this was around the time, I think, where like the Magnets shit was kind of popping on SNL.
Yep, it came out in 2011 is when the Magnets thing came out on SNL.
Yeah, so they kind of had that like media eye on them from the media, and maybe you know, how people release diss tracks to try to gain a little bit of traction when an album comes out. It's kind of what I think with that song, but still a good meaning behind that fucking track.
Yeah, I think the title of like the Chris Benoit song is probably kind of like that too, because Chris Benoit was still, you know, in the news being debated and shit if he was set up or if there was anything dirty going on. So that's probably thrown in just to get a little bit of attention too.
Without a doubt. Up next, we got Juggalo Juice. This is the motherfucking Fairgo anthem right here.
Oh yeah.
It took them a long ass fucking time, but they finally did it. Put out the Fairgo anthem, the beverage of choice of all juggalos out there. Another fucking hype track, another one that just makes you want to fucking dance, kind of like Bazooka Joey.
I heard this song the first time and I was like, this is gonna be like chicken hunting. It's gonna be in every clown set for the rest of time, because it was such a dope song, and like you said, it's about Fairgo. I mean, the whole fucking clown thing is about Fairgo, so I thought they would play this song like every fucking show. They don't play it that much. I really dig the song. Like, I think we were talking about with Violent J, with the storytelling, with his wordplay, being able to fit words in perfectly. Like, all the Fairgo flavor references is just a flex of how good they are at fucking putting together fucking raps, man. Like, they rap a whole song about nothing but Fairgo flavors, and they mention damn near every Fairgo flavor I've ever heard of. I thought they were making shit up, but I found a video when I was putting together the 5-piece Mighty Def Pop, and it's got fucking the real deal Fairgo picture every time they say something, like all the fucking weird shit like Jive Turkey Tonic. That shit's on there.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's great. Yeah, they definitely. My favorite line in here, 2 in each hand, flake out and shake. My nut bag tastes like Fairgo grape.
It is like marinate your steak or bake Fago cake, which is 100% true. I've had Fago ham marinated in pineapple Fago. Shit was good as shit. And then everybody's probably had like Fago cupcakes, like flavored with Fago fucking soda. That shit's good as shit, like grape and fucking red pop cupcakes. So that shit's true as shit too.
There used to be a spot in Worcester, right by the Palladium, that sold Fago. And I think it was they started carrying it because of the ICP shows. I don't know if they sell it anymore. I haven't been there in a long ass time. But when I found out they sold Fago, they had fucking every flavor too. You know how sometimes if you're outside of Detroit or whatever, it's if you find Fago, you'll find like the regular cola flavor or something.
Yeah,
root beer. You'll find like one flavor. This store had everything. I remember the first time I went in there, I walked out with like fucking 12 bottles of just every flavor was different. I was like, I got all this Fago.
Oh yeah, that's what was so dope about going to the gathering in 2000, being right beside Detroit, because like all the old school juggalos were in attendance, and they like took all of us juggalos that weren't from Detroit and showed us where to get all those fucking crazy flavors. Because even in Detroit, man, like the convenience stores, they don't have like 4 fucking like coolers full of shit. They just got one. So like a couple of them are really like distributors of Fago and get every fucking flavor as soon as they get it. And those like local juggalos were hooking up the fucking non-local juggalos with that knowledge. That was super dope.
That is dope. What is your favorite flavor of Fago?
Probably go jazz and bluesberry, even though it doesn't have caffeine. The thing I drink the most is Moon Mist, because it's one of the only ones that's got caffeine. I gotta have caffeine in my fucking pop.
I probably go with Moon Mist too. It's just, dude, it's a fucking sugar and fucking. I don't really drink soda that much, anyway. But god damn, the sugar and fucking Fago is like next level crazy.
Cotton candy Fago will make you think like your teeth are rotting out as you're drinking it. Like you can feel your teeth gritting on the fucking sugar.
You can feel your fucking foot falling off.
Straight up. Like that's what I always tell like people. I was talking about like gathering survival things. I always tell people, if you're a Fago drinker and you're going to the gathering, make sure you put some fucking Moon Mist or cola in your fucking Fago supply, because if not, you're going to be at the gathering with a mad, I ain't had no caffeine headache. You don't know why, because I didn't know fucking caffeine. There was Fago that had no caffeine. I thought it was all fucking caffeine, like any other soda, but only like the cola and the fucking Moon Mist is. Everything else is so like fruit flavored. It's non-caffeine to get the taste.
That's it. I had no idea until you just said that now.
I had no idea until I was at the gathering with a fucking non-caffeine headache and started reading the labels.
But yeah, a banger of a fucking track. I love that. Love that. Another song that would be dope live, like you said. It's unfortunate that, it got me thinking when you said that, like, their live sets are just kind of set in stone. Like, what you're going to get when they go live, but it would just be dope if they would incorporate a few newer songs from the second deck, newer. I mean, this shit's fucking 10 years old now.
Yeah.
But like throw in a fucking Juggalo Juice or some shit like that. That would be fire.
Yeah, that'd be dope for sure. Like, I was really surprised at how well they knew the lyrics for that Juggalo Jukebox show at the gathering. Like, I barely knew the lyrics to half of these songs. And fucking Jay Shags, man, they were on top of that shit. Usually, if they break out some shit that they're not too fucking familiar with, the fans will end up singing along quite a bit of the lyrics. Let's hold the fucking mic out there. But they fucking were nailing the lyrics of that Juggalo Jukebox show. And there was some fucking deep cuts in that shit.
They had a song from Basement Cuts on that motherfucker. And Violent J was rapping that shit. Like, I saw that footage. Fago Lovers was live, and that dude, he was fucking. I was like, dude, this dude's rapping some Basement Cut shit right now. Like, this is crazy.
Hell yeah, man. They both schooled it. Even the performance that ended up closing out the gathering, that was their more traditional show, man, they schooled that set list. It was like I made it myself.
Yeah, I feel like they're lately, last year, maybe 2. Their live shows, like it was a little bit where they were kind of struggling with their live shows, in particularly Jay, but it's like he's back on track now, and it seems like they're fucking killing it live again.
I think it was whenever they kind of were forced to take that break because of the whole coronavirus breaking out. Like, I think they just got like winded, like cardio. It's hard to be up there for fucking an hour yelling at the top of your lungs, fucking spraying Fago and shit. You got to be in fucking, you ain't got to be in like, you're not going to be like, you don't need a six pack, but you need to be in fucking stage shape is what they call it. Like whenever the wrestler is called ring shape, to where like, you know, you need to be able to have that cardio. And that's what he had to get back, because he was struggling in some of those streams, man. And I think he heard everybody talk about it. He made sure these last few performances that he's fucking done that to nail all the lyrics, because he schooled it at the fucking gathering.
Without a doubt. You know, to nail a fucking Basement Cuts track just shows you the work that he's putting in.
Oh yeah. And I mean, he looks like it.
Who the fuck knows any lyrics to the Basement Cuts songs?
Yeah, none. Like I mean, I haven't listened to it enough to even like ever sing along with it myself in my house, listening to the fucking thing, let alone up there rapping it on stage.
Right. But yeah, up next, Hater to Death. This song right here, I know I just said Fury is probably my favorite and their best song of the second deck, but this song right here to me is right up there with Fury. I fucking love, from the very first time I heard it till the last time I listened to it this afternoon, it hits the exact same as it did 10 years ago, man. It's such a fucking dope song. It's a song that everybody can relate to, guy or girl, because you could just flip it to however, you know, whatever the scenario is. But it's just, you know, basically talking about this girl, how fucking perfect she is and all this other shit, but she don't want nothing to do with this, nothing to do with you, and I fucking hate this bitch to death. I'm gonna kill her.
It almost reminds me of like Jay got in the same headspace as he was in for like Under the Moon. He's not in jail for this one, but the longer that he's singing about the girl, the madder he's getting, like he was doing on Under the Moon. He's dope at that, man. Like it's expressing his anger, escalating throughout the song. Just another one of his fucking songwriting skills that he's got. Absolutely.
Another great, damn, man. You fucking really dig that shit up. That's a fucking great, another great, because Under the Moon, the way that shit builds up just gets more angry, and same with Hater to Death, man. Just gets more pissed every verse, and it's just like, I fucking hate this bitch.
He's getting so mad by the end of it, you hate the bitch yourself. You don't even know her.
Such a dope track. Another one where Legs Diamond shines. You know, the I want you off this planet, you don't want me, and I just can't stand it. That singing part, fucking just so great. The video for this, in my opinion, this is their best video they ever did. Like, probably, it looks like the biggest budget video they've ever done. Like, it looks like a fucking movie the way it was filmed. Like, I love the video to it too.
Yeah, it looks like one of those like 80s like teenage movies. They're in like a high school and shit. The only thing about the video that I'll critique is the girl that's in the video. It's supposed to be like 18 or whatever. It looks like she's more like 30.
Right. Yeah.
and you know, Violent J Caster. Right. So he could try to hit that. So that makes sense.
He's like, no, she's got to be young. He's like, nope, she's the one.
Yeah, it's like, she looks 30. Yeah, but I can hit that. Right. I'd feel weird fucking spitting game with this 19-year-old over here.
Right.
So you know that's how she got hired.
Hell yeah. But I just, man, it's right up there as one of the best songs of the second deck. I'd even go just as far as to say one of the best songs of all time. It's just one of my favorite fucking songs from them, man. 10 years later, you know, sitting with it for that long too. Because I mean, I visit this album fairly frequently, as much as I probably do first deck stuff. It's just such a dope album and so many dope songs on it.
Yeah, I think, especially like you said, if you can relate this song to yourself or even somebody you know or something like that, man, it hits even harder. We were doing it on the 5-piece. We're doing our top 5 songs, and Luke picked this on there, and he said, like, when he hears this song, he still has like flashbacks of the bitch that he's thinking about that relates to fucking him. Yeah. So I mean, it just hits you like that whenever you hear it, if you got something that you can relate to it. It's done so well.
I think everybody has gone through that, where you like somebody, you think they're just so fucking dope, and they just don't like you back, and you're like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, your name's like Brad and they call you Brian.
Right. Right. You're like, well, never mind. Forget that. Up next we got Scream. the only song on the album with a collaboration. Tech Nine and Hobson on here. And it's a dope track. Like when I saw this, I was like, when I saw the feature of Tech Nine and Hobson, I was like, I don't know, man. I think Tech Nine and Hobson are gonna like steal the show in a bad way on this, because ICP are dope, but Hobson and Tech are just like next level lyricists, the multi-syllables, the way they do their shit, like crazy wordsmiths.
Especially in this time era. Like ICP hadn't really started even trying to attempt to rap like that, like they would go on to do on like Fury and shit. But like back in 2012, especially, that was the case.
Right. But Jay and Shaggy's back and forth hold their own with Hop and Tech, in my opinion.
Yep. I mean, I don't think ICP does the back and forth enough. I love whatever they do that shit. So I'm always a mark when I hear that. So that was the right way to approach it for sure. Because like we were talking about, if you're going to try to match up with fucking Hobson and Tech, man, you're going to have to bring it. And doing that allows them to not have to go with such a long bar to where they can make their fucking flows crisp. And they did.
Yeah, man. Their back and forth is definitely I don't know if I'd say underrated, but yeah, when they do the back and forth, they flow so well. I mean, it just goes to show, after working together for so many years, it's just they could do that where they just bounce off each other, and it's just flawless. Like there's not a beat missed. It doesn't sound awkward at any point. They kill it on that, and I love the chorus on that bitch. Scream.
Oh yeah, and then you talk about like ICP holding their own. They had to, because Hobson comes in and kills it, man. But Tech, he always writes so well for Juggalos, man. The line that really sticks with me from the song, so damn sick, I shakos, fuck them. That's the motto, saying I'll be done tomorrow, you fucking motherfuckos. And he says motherfuckos. He didn't say motherfuckers. He says motherfuckos, because he knows that that's Juggalo slang, man. And that just makes you mark the fuck out whenever I hear that shit for the first time.
Yeah, man. Like Tech, as much criticism he probably get these days, he knows how to fucking play it up for the Juggalos, man. He really does. I mean, the Juggalos really were the first people to really support him in a like as a, what's the fucking word I'm thinking of, like a mass following, because he had a following and he was gaining traction, but like the Juggalos really took the Tech Nine, so he knows, and he's been to so many gatherings, he's done so much shit with them, tours and all that. He knows all the slang. He knows it all.
Yeah, and you can tell whenever he plays the gathering, his set is all the shit that Juggalos like. Like I always criticize Red and Meth, because I mean, as much as I love them two motherfuckers, they showed up to the gathering and didn't play anything from the Blackout album, which would be every Juggalo's favorite album. And they played nothing from that. They played nothing from old shit. It was all like their latest fucking stuff they played, and Juggalos ended up not liking it. So Tech knows what to play. He always plays the dark shit whenever he's at the gathering, always puts it down, does areola, fucking titties come out everywhere.
Yeah, he said the only time he'll play areola is at the gathering, because he knows he won't get in trouble.
Straight up. Then he forgot to do it when he was there the last time.
So dope, man. Tech I love the OWHH off with his head. I love it.
Yo, ever release want to see the boss in the red? How a stupid motherfucker talk when he's dead. That's Mike. That's another Mike Sears thing. He said that's line. Those lines are towards Q Strange. Said they were beefing at that time.
See the boss in the red. Okay. Yeah. I remember they were beefing at that time. Q
Strange Land. Yeah.
And that was a dope ass diss track from Q Strange. He fucking killed that shit. Killed it. He gave Tech a run for his money with that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scream, it's a dope track, and it's a proper collaboration with Tech Nine too. I know Thug Pit was a dope track, but that was like Tech was on like 4 bars, and I think the next time we heard ICP and Tech was Madhouse, and that just wasn't it.
Then you go back to like Serial Killer on Green Book. He only got a half a verse. He didn't even have a full verse on that.
Yeah. So this right here is like a proper collaboration. I would love to hear Tech Nine and ICP do some shit again. I think they work with each other. I think they know each other, what works with each other. It's just probably finding that right beat for whether it's ICP getting tech or tech getting ICP for an album, finding that right sound. But I would love to see that shit happen again.
I'm waiting for a Zool and Tech Nine fucking collab. That's the underground I want to see him work with next. Is fucking Zool. That'd be nasty. Because Lee Carver is like one of the dudes in the underground that could hang with him fucking lyrically.
Yeah, that would be dope too. We haven't been talking about the skits in between songs, but I like the skit at the end of Scream. It's like the dude doing nitrous, and he's like, fucking keep going, dude, keep going. He's like, oh my god, he's keep hitting it, and they're like, he's turning blue, and he's like, it's called smurfing.
It's called smurfing.
That shit got me dying. Like, dude's turning blue, and he's like, that's called smurfing.
They probably picked that up at a gathering at Cave and Rock, like I was talking about. That's a drug bridge reference right there.
Right? I thought that shit was funny when I was listening to it this week. In preparation for the show, I was fucking dying laughing. It's called smurfing.
Their skits are usually always pretty dope. I always think back to the Jekyll brothers. They brought in the Jerky Boys, who were like a real famous fucking like comedian prank call fucking squad. And I thought ICP and Twisted skits they did on Jekyll Brothers was way funnier than the fucking Jerky Boy shit.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
So they're better than the fucking actual fucking comedians that make a living on that shit.
Man, I need a motherfucking Cholito, dog.
Oh yeah, I want a motherfucking Cholito.
Cholito, not how you say Cholito.
I'll offer you a fresh slice of tomato. No.
So dope.
Oh yeah.
Up next, we got Ghetto Rainbows. Ghetto Rainbows. This is kind of like. It's like Juggalo Island in the sense where it's just a silly song, kind of goofy, but it's so fucking dope. I love Ghetto Rainbows. Look in the sky, there is a rainbow over the hood. Like just talking about all this fucked up shit going down in the hood, but look up in the sky, there's a motherfucking rainbow.
Oh. That's some like Tupac shit. He was always talking about being the rose that grows out of concrete in the ghetto. So like I always wondered if that was the inspiration for this song. I think what stands out in this song the most is the writing ability of Jay. And it's not what we're talking about traditionally with the lyrics and storytelling. It's the melody. He's able to write melody so fucking well, man. They're so fucking catchy. And then the other thing I have is Violent J singing. He's like a normal dude singing that we can all sing along with and not feel bad that we sound shitty because we sound just like he does. It's not like whenever I try to sing along with Lane Staley, it's like, damn, I don't fucking sound nearly like Lane Staley does. You sing along with Jay, you kind of feel good about yourself.
Yep. It's just as it's on the same quality, same par.
Straight up. That's why I always say Marvelous Missing Link didn't work so well, is because fucking Young Wicked's too good of a singer.
Right. You need that off-key, off-tuned shit.
Straight up, or it's not a clown song. It just it doesn't sound right. But then you got like the melody and how dope it is and the message and everything. Then you also got like the wicked lyrics. Body in the alley with blown out brains. There'll still be a rainbow after it rains. So you got the wicked shit in there too, man, that he fits in with like what we were talking about. It wouldn't be as scary if it was just all them talking like hardcore horrorcore shit. Like they're clowns, man. You want them to sound happy while they're killing you as well. It makes sense. Right. And this song's fucking perfect.
Absolutely. Talking about all the fucked up shit. Catchy ass hook. The fuck was I gonna say? Oh, the flow. Another one where the flows are just super unique, but works really well. Like I love how they don't just always use like traditional type flows on their shit, and they absolutely kill it.
Jay always talks about that. He learned like how to mix up his flows. He said like basically you just sing and rap instead of talking and rapping. He like says he like sings and raps, and you can tell that like it really changes up the delivery of his flow when he does that shit. Right.
It's dope shit. And Ghetto Rainbows, another silly kind of song like Juggalo Island, but it's dope. I love it.
Sing along song. Good placement in the album as well too.
Yeah, without a doubt. Towards the end, we're getting to the last quarter of the album here.
Coming off Scream when you got Tech and Hobson on the track before that, you get kind of a complete palette wash right there.
Right. But like I said in the beginning, the way this album just plays out, the ride of emotions and sounds and shit is just, it's so dope. This album is just so goddamn good.
You tell they had 2 years to put it together and listen to all the material and find out the best that it flowed together, because it does. They put it together perfectly.
Yeah, without a doubt. And then we got When I'm Clowning. Another fun song. When I'm clowning, I get silly. The fuck
like something lace my feely. Been known to pop up hilly.
So dope, man. When I'm clowning, I love this shit. They did a couple remixes afterwards. One of them was on the bonus.
White Pop.
Yeah, the White Pop CD. And then the video version had Boondocks in the video, and then Danny Brown rapping his verse. Danny Brown spazzed on that shit.
That's my favorite version, is the one with Danny Brown. And he wasn't even supposed to be on there. Like, he talked about like the White Pop. It had Krayshawn on it. And she was supposed to be in the video, and she no-showed it. So, like, they ended up contacting Danny Brown. He's from Detroit, and he jumped on that shit, man. And he fucking killed it.
Yeah, he did. He destroyed that shit. Just another fucking dope track from the Clowns. I probably have to agree that the Danny Brown version is my favorite, too.
It reminds me of, like, a track that would be at the beginning of an album, like a Bring It on Jekyll Brothers, just a hype fucking, not really talking about anything, just talking about how dope ICP is type of shit. That's usually like your second or third track.
Yeah. Like a Hocus Pocus or some shit like that.
Yep, straight up. Yep.
But it works towards the end of the album.
Because it comes right after Ghetto Rainbows, like we were talking about, being played so well. Like, you got that slow one coming in there, and then you got that fucking clown shit right after it.
Right. It's just a dope track. I love their flow again on here. A non-traditional flow. I'm psycho illy. Snatch out your icy grilly. I hope Maba Millie about to
knock off a Chili's.
So fucking fresh, man. I just
hell yeah.
ICP just so underrated. And then we got another diss track. They killed Chris Brown in the beginning. Now we're killing, Dog the Bounty Hunter. Fuck Dog the Bounty Hunter. We got the infamous leaked voicemail or phone call. Dog the Bounty Hunter dropping the N-bomb a bunch of times.
And as the dog barking whenever he says the N-word, it makes me laugh every time.
Yep. You can't disagree with the message on this song. Fuck Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I like you're a glorified snitch with a nuclear mullet. I got the name Dog engraved in my bullets. Like, goddamn, man. Like, Jay came out swinging. Like, you would think, like, to get an entire diss song on a fucking Jokerz card, you'd have to be beefing to the level of, like, Eminem and ICP. I've never heard Dog talk shit, really. And he just came out swinging on that shit.
And then he goes after his wife. Your wife looked like a wrestler.
Looked like a wrestler.
She looked like how to give you a blumpkin, like.
That is funny. She looked just like a nasty boy, like one of the 80s like wrestlers. She really did too. She always rocking like the fucking vest, look like a fucking member of the Shield.
Yep. Dog the Bounty Hunter, man.
I like the line, "Sucks to be you, a fake Rambo with no gun, not even a stun one." That was from Shags.
Yep.
I think I know where the beef came from, where Jay got pissed. There was an episode of Dog the Bounty Hunter, and one of the dudes he arrested had a ringmaster tattoo. And like, you know how Dog always talks to the person whenever he arrests them on the way to jail? Like even Jay says it in the lyrics, who wants to talk to a bigot ass snitch on their way to jail. But like, he's talking to this dude, and he notices he's got a ringmaster tattoo, and he's of course holding up the fucking forks up, forks down shit, and he thinks it's gang related. And he's like, "What's that?" And the dude says it's the ringmaster. And like, Dog goes, "You don't want to get into that shit. That's nothing but trouble." So I'm guessing like Jay and Juggalos was watching that, thinking he was saying that getting into ICP shit was nothing but trouble, but like Dog was looking at it as from like a gang perspective or whatever. So I'm guessing Jay seen that episode and pinned the song.
Right. I remember watching that show back in the day and always thinking, when Dog's talking to the dudes or whoever he catches on the way to jail, like, I don't want to listen to this motherfucker. Fucking mullet.
Straight up.
Me on my way to jail. Like, fuck off.
Just shut the fuck up. Can't believe nobody headbutted him and just told him to shut the fuck up. at that point. What are they gonna do? Arrest you again?
Right, exactly. Fuck Dog the Bounty Hunter. Fuck the police.
I like the line that, like I was talking about with Shags, about fake ass Rambo with no gun, because I remember he always carried that like big ass like industrial size fucking mace. That's all he had. He like ran around acting like that was a gun.
Yep. They had the fucking like the paintball guns, but they put pepper spray balls in it instead.
Yeah, like non-lethal fucking shit.
Yeah, walking around like the fucking military and shit with non-lethals.
Fake ass Rambo. Shags nailed it.
Exactly. Up next, we got Daisies. I fucking love this song, but I don't know what it's about. The bass hits so fucking hard, you can't really hear the lyrics. But I fucking love this song. It's so dope. Like, the hook is catchy as shit, but I've never like really sat down to try to break down or read the lyrics or anything to figure out what the song is about.
I think because of that, you listen to the song that more intently because you're trying to figure out what the fuck they're saying over that bass line.
Right.
So it's almost like Arn Anderson or Jake the Snake Roberts, who always talk soft in their wrestling promos. So you listen to them. That's kind of like what that shit is. You're trying to figure out what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah. The bass hits. This is probably the hardest hitting bass on this album with this song right here. That shit hits fucking so hard, but vocals are too low, unfortunately, but I still love the song. Like it sounds good.
The note I have written out beside it is it sounds like Violent J's using like Hell's Pit Violent J voice. Like it sounds like this shit could have been recorded in the Hell's Pit era. He's got that like that gravelly rasp to his voice, man. And he's talking real low, but it's also coming through real fucking good. It just reminds me of like Hell's Pit J.
Yeah. I love it. I love how he's doing the whisper kind of shit. I wish they would have turned it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like a dope ass song. Like
it works.
The hook is the shit. Oh shit, seen the deep beaming of a Basie. Our will to survive, it's amazing.
Amazing.
Like it's dope. Catchy as shit, man.
Yeah, Jay's hook writing ability really stands out on this album. We was talking about that on Tempest, and you can tell 5 years later it's progressed even better.
Yeah, man. Like not only a great storyteller, but just songwriter in general. Like he knows how to put together a dope ass song and have it build up, bring you back down, bring you back up. You know, they know how to fucking do it, man. They're professionals at this shit. And it's just a couple of clowns and fucking a couple of white dudes with clown paint rapping.
And people always knock Violent J for listening to like Prince and Michael Jackson and Pearl Jam and shit. But that's the reason he's got that songwriting abilities, because he fucking goes back to that shit that he listened to growing up. He fucking pulls from it. Exactly.
You're not gonna pull that shit listening to fucking NWA all the time.
Yeah, like there's no melodies in that on Ghetto Boys.
Right. You're just not gonna find that on there. Where's God? This is a great fucking song. I love this song. Another song that's like just relatable as shit. You turn on the news or whatever, or just even in your life, you're down in the dumps or whatever. You're like, if there's a fucking God, why is all this shit happening?
Straight up.
Why is everything so fucked up if there's a God? You know, and everybody always says, after the 6th, people would go and call ICP a fucking Christian band.
Like they were DC Talk or some shit.
Right. And then you got them on here on this song, like, yo, where's God? Like, talking about all the fucked up shit in the world.
See, I think if this message was on Hell's Pit, I think a lot of juggalos wouldn't have got so mad about fucking The Wraith being like a Christian album if that song was on the next album and didn't take like 8 years to come out, because it fucking sums that shit up perfectly with all those people talking about them being a Christian band or whatever. It would shut them up.
Yeah. Great video that they put out for this song too, where they're carrying the crosses on their back, Jay and Shaggy, and they just gather a fucking huge group of people, a whole bunch of different people as they're carrying the cross. I love this video, man. Another
dope video.
Yeah, man.
It reminded me of Chemo. Remember Chemo from UFC? One of the early UFC fighters. He came out carrying a cross to the ring.
Yep. I forgot about that till you just said that. Yep. That dude was fucking nuts.
Yeah, big over like a Samoan dude, tats and shit, carried a fucking cross to the ring. Like, holy shit.
Yep. You got Jay on here. Innocent folks, wrong place at the wrong time. Doing bids or drawn in a chalk line. Little kids crossing the bridge too young. Some tortured before they come. Just, it's that shit, man. Like I said, it's where's fucking God? And that's the whole song. Legs Diamond kills it on here. Kills it on this song.
Kills it on this album. Just in general.
In general, he kills it. But he fucking kills it on here. You know, the end when they're repeating the hook, I still believe, like they're questioning where's God, but it's still there. You know, they're still a Christian band. They still believe.
Straight up. I think like this, whenever like somebody's super Christian and anything, like, you know, somebody like blows up a building and fucking 1,000 people die and they're like, pray about it. Like people, my reaction is always like, if God's so powerful and can control all this shit, why is he like allowing this 2-year-old kid to get raped or whatever? Like, you know, that's exactly what they're talking about in this fucking song. Like, if God's so fucking powerful, why is all this fucked up shit happening? So great message on this song. And like I said, I think if this would have came out on Hell's Pit, it would have fucking really fought the Christian band thing, because that's what I think about religious people is they just think pray. Like that's the fucking solve it to everything, pray. Right. And like this song is like telling you that they're not feeling like that at all. They're talking about real world shit and why ain't God fucking helping out with like innocent people getting fucked up and stuff. So super dope fucking message to the song. Really dope message. Questioning God, but they still believe, and just relatable as fuck, man. You know, religious or not, I think anybody can relate to that shit. Oh yeah, I mean, whenever you're watching, there's got to be a moment. Like, I'm not religious or anything like that, but like if you're a religious person, I got to imagine, or I have to believe, there's a moment where you're like, dude, where's God? Yeah, like, shit just ain't fucking going right. I have to imagine that religious people go through that shit as well. Yeah, I mean, you keep seeing fucking kids get shot down at school. You got to be thinking like, why is God allowing this? If you really believe God controls everything, like some people do, like, yeah, that would be the question you'd ask those people. Without a doubt. And then I think that would have been a dope way to end the album. But then you have Forever, which is just another dope way to end the album. Like, they could have went with either song to end the album, but Forever is a great ender to the Mighty Death Pop. Listening to it today, I kind of got the feel this is kind of like the opposite of Where's God, where it's like, where's God? You're like wondering, where's God? All this bad shit's happening. Whereas Forever is like, look at the positive shit. Try to find the positive. You know, I think it was Shaggy that had a line. How much positivity are you blind to? You only live once, I remind you. Yes. And they talk about how it took forever to get the positivity, and then you hope that it stays forever. It's another dope message from ICP. You can also look at it as like they're talking about with where's God, about all the fucked up shit going down like on Earth, and then Forever is talking about getting to Shangri-La and not having to worry about that bullshit anymore. Like all your homies are there kicking it with you forever. We're gonna spend forever in Shangri-La. So it's definitely like almost like you said, an opposite view of Where's God. Yeah, just a great way to flip it and play off that shit. Another perfect example of the sequencing of songs. Like, they purposely put this song after Where's God. Like I said, Where's God could have been an album ender, but this song, it not only follows that song up well, it's just it's a dope way to end the album. And the remix with the Ghetto Boys was dope too. Yep, we had a couple people on 5 Piece in the comments saying that they loved the Forever song because we had it. I think we all had it on our list, and a couple people said they loved that song, but they liked the remix version even better. So, like we was talking about that bonus material, it ain't just throwaway shit. No, it's not. And this song's super catchy with the whistling. They added that whistling into the fucking song, man. It's just a super catchy fucking song that you'll be singing along with by the second time you heard it. I already talked about they made a video for it and then shelved it. Like, they spent 40 G's on that video and then decided not to put it out, and then ended up like releasing it on Psychopathic. The Videos Volume 2 was the first time they ever put. I couldn't imagine dropping $40,000 on something and then just shelving it, because it's not even that bad of a video. I'd have put that motherfucker out. I have to see it. I don't think I've ever seen that video. I didn't even know that they had a video for this song. Yep. KG talks about it on the DVD about how it got made for 40 G's and then uh, shelved. I think it's dope, man. It fits along with the theme of the song. Like at the beginning, it's Jay and Shaggy rapping in a room, and it's a bunch of young kids like standing around them, like videotaping them on their fucking cell phone and shit. And then as the song goes, by like the second chorus, they're like mid-30s or whatever. Then by the last chorus, they're all old people standing around them and shit. So it's like time changing as the song goes on. I thought it was a dope ass video, but even KG says on there that it was a whack video. I guess nobody liked it at Psychopathic. I thought it was dope.
Damn. It's a dope concept for a video. I like the concept of that because that's kind of what the song is.
That's what KG says on the thing. He's like, the concept sounded fresh, and he's like, but we fucking filmed it and it was whack. He's like, so they shelved it. That's 40 G's just down the fucking toilet. It's crazy.
That's the music business, man. Like you have a vision, you try to execute it, and it doesn't go to plan. You don't want to put out trash, even if it did cost you $40,000.
Yeah. I can't believe they were spending $40,000 on videos when they know they're not getting played anywhere anyways.
I know.
I'd have figured out another way to spend that $40,000 on something else because only people was watching them videos are juggalos. Like you're not going to sell any more albums because of that video. The only people listening to that video is fucking already bought that album the day it came out.
Right. Yeah, 40 G's is a lot. Fuck that.
But it was in the hundreds of thousands for the Malenko era videos that they were spending because they Island thought they were going to get on fucking MTV after all that controversy, and they gave them, I think they said 200,000, either 200 or 250,000 to spend on all those Malenko videos they made.
Yeah, man. Music videos back in the days. I mean, I remember shit like the TRL days. Motherfuckers were spending like $1 million on videos, like stupid, fucking dumb shit.
Like I remember Korn blew up like a fucking sports car in their video. That it was like $100,000 sports car. They just run off a bridge and blow it up. It's like brand new car that you got for 4 seconds of fucking footage for.
It's wild.
That's when you know you're making big time money, when your record label's approving that shit.
Right. Dope way to end the album. I can't believe it's been 10 fucking years. I do want to break down some of the bonus shit in a minute if you're down to do that.
Before we get into that, I had one other point for Forever.
Okay.
Let me see if you agree with me. I think this song would have worked better than Thigh Unveiling for the fucking end of the 6 Jokerz card. They're talking about Shangri-La. We all fucking go to Shangri-La and shit like that. Like, I was listening to it this week. I was like, this song would have fucking worked for the 6 card. This could have been the closer for the OG 6 that's so good. And it's also got Simple and Blunt vibes, which was what made me think of it originally. Simple and Blunt's kind of got like that whistling type of sing-along thing. Yep. Same thing with that. So I was like, damn, that could have worked.
I think you're right. Instead of just coming out like blatantly like the Carnival is God and all that shit.
Yeah, I don't think people would have got as mad.
Right. But you still get the message with this song.
Yeah, it doesn't slap you in the face with it.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong with that. Because it's basically the same shit.
Yeah. Just like I said, without slapping you in the face with like the God lyrics.
Right. And the we're not sorry if we tricked you.
Yeah, straight up.
But yeah, man, fucking fire fucking album. 10 years. Happy birthday to the Mighty Death Pop. I saw you posted the video when they unveiled the Mighty Death Pop at Hallowicked. What do you think? Where does the look of the Mighty Death Pop, the design of the Mighty Death Pop, rank for you? Among
second card or all of them?
All of them.
I think it's outside of Fearless Fred Fury. It's my favorite of the second deck but also if you add in, remember you had the holofoil fucking cover to where it was blown up and shit. I think that puts it up to second overall for me in the second deck. So it would be behind all 6 of the first ones for me. So 8th, I think, would be it.
I remember when it got unveiled, I was like, ugh, I don't know. I don't like the look of this guy right here. But over time, I think I've grown to like it a little bit better. I still think it's probably, I I'd probably put Missing Link as probably my least favorite looking Jokerz card, and then this above it. Still not my favorite. I like it a little bit better than back in the day. The Wicked, throwing up the Wicked Clown sign on the covers. I remember that's like awkward looking. I'm like, this is kind of weird looking.
Yeah.
Not my favorite looking card, but musically, where do you rank this among the second deck?
I've got it third. I got it behind Bang Pow Boom, which I've already said on like 5-piece. I know Bang Pow Boom's not as good as I give it credit for, but I was at that 09 and then 2010 gathering, which was basically Bang Pow Boom gatherings. So I hope that like time so much higher. And then I put Fearless Fred. Then I put Mighty Death Pop.
Yeah. I got to say, this is my favorite of the second deck. It's just a solid fucking album. Not one skipper on here. Just a great fucking album. Great collaboration. Mikey Clark, ICP and Legs Diamond. They just killed it on here, man.
And like the dope thing was going into it, they were doing like MTV interviews and shit. And like Jay and Shaggy kept saying how they're like veterans now. They're not trying to be anything. They know what they are. They know what Juggalos want, and they're going to give it to them. And that's what they did, man. It was like they fucking stepped in the time machine and went back to the 90s and came back with this album.
Yeah. Top 3 songs.
Top 3 for me. I got at the 3 spot, Scream. I just think that tech fucking verse is so fucking dope that I put Scream at the 3 spot. 2, When I'm Clowning, the Danny Brown version. And then 1, Bazooka Joey. Love that fucking track.
Hell yeah. All 3 of those tracks are fire. My top 3, I probably go for number 3. I probably go Where's God? I just love that song. Just relatable.
Especially if you add in the video.
Yeah, like that video is so fucking fire. Number 2, Bazooka Joey. Just a classic. One of Shaggy's all-time best solo songs, I think.
Yo.
And number 1, Hate Her to Death. I think we kind of figured that out when we got to that part, but I love that song, that video as well.
Oh, yeah. No skippers on this entire album. Like, we always do a least favorite question, like, what's your least favorite track on the album? And it was hard to pick one because there's not one I skipped.
Yeah. I did want to mention at the beginning of the show, definitely go check out the 5-piece show where they break down their top 5 songs as well. The 5-piece show that you guys do is fucking dope. I love that shit.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it, man.
It's been 10 years since the Mighty Death Pop came out. I probably should have sent you these questions like you do for me when I hop on your show, but I'm kind of blindsiding you with these questions.
Oh, yeah. Just freeballing it.
Yeah. It's been 10 years since Mighty Death Pop came out. Do you consider it a classic?
Oh, yeah. I consider it a classic for sure. Anything that I like 75% of the album, 75% to 80% of the album is a classic to me. And I just said I like 100% of this album. So Juggalo classic for sure.
Without a doubt. Definitely a classic.
I mean, we polled over 100 Juggalos to rank Joker cards, and this got ranked above the first Joker's card, Carnival Carnage. So Juggalos love this fucking album.
It's a great fucking album, and I could see that. You know, I would have to say I like Carnival of Carnage better, but looking at it objectively among all Juggalos, new Juggalos included, I could see this album being ranked above like Carnival of Carnage for sure.
Oh yeah, because for a lot of Juggalos, like we talked about, they were blowing up with like the SNL shit, parodying them and stuff. So a lot of people first heard of ICP in 2011. First card that comes out after they're a Juggalo was this. And I'm fucking super like sentimental to Jekyll Brothers because that's the first album that ever came out once I'd found Malenko. So there's Juggalos like that with Mighty Death Pop for sure. So I can definitely see why I got voted. Only a second deck card to be ranked above any of the OG cards. So Juggalos love this fucking thing.
Hell yeah. And not only did they drop this album, but it came with 3 versions. There was a white pop, red pop, and a black pop. Everyone had its own bonus disc with bonus material. We'll start out with the black pop. Came with the hour-long Freaky Tales. I've never listened to it.
I've put it on YouTube and like listen. I didn't buy it whenever it came out, so I didn't ever have like the physical of it. But once like YouTube started popping and you could find anything on there, I put it on and like clean the house or play with my dog or some shit while I was on in the background and never went back to it. It's funny because like I asked the question on 5 Piece how many times had Mike and Luke listen to it, and it was one each. I replied, I want to meet that Juggalo that listens to it every 30 days, because there's some Juggalo somewhere. It's like I pump that shit every 30 days. So if you're that Juggalo watching, hit us up on Fairgo Lovers, because I want to fucking meet you. I've never met one Juggalo that said that.
Without a doubt. My main question with that song is it like a 3-minute song where they just kind of blend it and repeat it over and over, or is it just an all original 1 hour long song?
It's all original, all one beat, but it's all original. It's not like repeated verses or anything.
God damn.
But the beat doesn't switch up, so it's like really hard to listen to one beat for an hour.
Right.
But yeah, I've literally heard Juggalos say that Yum Yum Bedlam is the best lyrical album they've ever heard from ICP. So I know if somebody thinks that then they also think that fucking Freaky Tales is dope and they listen to it once a month. So I want to meet that ninja.
Oh my god, it's fucking hilarious. Then we got the Red Pop, Smothered, Covered, and Chunked. This was their like album of cover songs.
Yes, sir.
There's some fucking gems on here.
That's the one I bought from the CD store, so I've listened to the fuck out of this one. Like I would play Def Pop and then play this, play Def Pop, play this, and keep it in that rotation when I first got it. So I played the fuck out of this album.
Oh yeah, I when this album first came out, the store I went to only had White Pop, so that was the one that I got. Red Pop was the second one I got because I just didn't want to hear the Freaky Tales song at the time. So this one definitely got plays. Jump Around is a fucking dope ass cover.
Hell yeah. And the video is a cover of the original video from House of Pain. Like it's not even just the song, it's a remake of the video.
Yeah, super dope. I love it. Mikey Clark like remade the beats Mikey Clark style too, like on all on this album.
I think that's one of the big reasons it stands out, because for some reason like Mikey Clark beats just hit my ear differently. Even before we knew that Mikey Clark did the fucking tracks on Pug Ugly, me and Mike was doing that listening party to it, and like even the songs that I didn't like lyrically, I'd be like, there's something about that beat, man, that just is fire. Like every song up until 80s Ballad, like my review of it was fucking, this beat is fire. I don't know who made it, but that shit is fucking banging. And then to find out it was Mikey Clark, I was like, makes sense.
Mikey fucking Clark, man. You wouldn't expect it, but he fucking kills it. And then you got collaboration with Fred Durst on here. I never thought I would hear ICP and Fred Durst on a song together.
Hell yeah. One of my favorite fucking bands of all time is Limp Bizkit. And like Fred's a Juggalo, man. I don't know if you call him a Juggalo, but he's a fan of ICP. When he was booking fucking Family Values, he fucking booked ICP to be on it. And MTV kicked him off. Said they wouldn't promote the tour if ICP was on it. Fred Durst is the one that fucking put him on it.
I remember when that shit was going down and I couldn't believe it. I was like, ICP really going to be on the Family Values tour? Like, because that was like at the time, that was like the top rock tour at the time.
Yeah, that's what made Limp Bizkit. Like nobody knew who the fuck Limp Bizkit was, and they were on Family Values '98. And Korn was fucking headlining that shit, and fucking Limp Bizkit fucking got their spot on the map from that fucking tour.
Without a doubt. And it's the Bitch Better Have My Money is it's a dope remake.
Yeah, I think it's better than the original. Especially with Fred, man. Fred sounds like 97, 98 Fred. He sounds like fucking $3 bill when he comes on there. Bloodstains in the back of your Mustang. Don't cry, shit not dry. Lick that shit like an ice cream pie. Purple patties, drop that Xannies. Eat at Denny's, bitch slap granny. Like you get like old school fucking Fred flow on there, man. It sounded like nothing I'd heard from Fred in the past 10 years. And then the top it all off, aside from the song being dope, is Jay and Shaggy said whenever they hit up Fred, he was cool as fuck, didn't ask for any money, didn't charge them anything, didn't pull that I'm a superstar, sold 40 million records, you got to pay me 100 G's to be on it or whatever. He said like within a couple hours, that motherfucker hit him back with the bars, and it's just easy as fuck to work with. That's
so dope. And then fast forward a few years later, and Shaggy 2 Dope's fucking trying to
drop kick him. Still one of the most random, weird things ever. Yep. Like, I still don't know the whole story of that because I don't think Shags tells the whole story.
Right. It's fucking hilarious. I remember when that shit happened, waking up that day and just seeing the picture of Shaggy just getting fucking grabbed.
Did you ever see like the video of him in the crowd whenever he's plotting doing it with his homies?
Yeah, he's like, we're gonna go drop right there.
Straight up.
And I'm like, this isn't drunk Shags. Shaggy
it's sober.
Yeah. He's sober as fuck, and he's like, we're gonna go drop kick Fred Durst. Hilarious.
And then everybody said he missed, and if you watch it, man, it's a perfect wrestling drop kick. Like he touched him, but he didn't kick him. Like it's exactly how you wanted it to fucking be, a wrestling style drop kick. I thought it was funny that Violent J mentions it on the new EP. Says he's worrying about Fred Durst drop kicking them off stage now.
Yeah, I caught that. That was fucking hilarious. Another dope track on here. Mine's Playing Tricks on Me. Ghetto Boys, ABK and Lil White on here. They killed it. Mikey Clark killed it with the remake of the beat. Some classic Ghetto Boys shit. I love that song.
I like the shit at the beginning the best. Violent J, I show up at your high school prom with an axe in my motherfucking palm. Oh, that's not this one?
Oh, no.
Cottonmouth Kings remade that too on Hidden Stash 2.
And that was a dope remake too, I thought.
Yep. I used that for my ring entrance when I was wrestling at Smoky St. Odds. I was like a weed gimmick. I was from 420 Mary Jane Lane.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I came up to Cottonmouth Kings. I came up to that one because it was hype at the beginning.
And then the best song on here, Christina Aguilera, Beautiful.
Like, the question I have about that song is 5 years later, why did they make a video for that?
Right? Weird.
5 years later, even if they made the video when the CD came out, brand new, it'd have been weird that they picked that. But 5 years later to pick that Red on My Song was even fucking weirder.
Oh my god, that fucking song! When that song started, I don't think I've ever listened to that song all the way through. I'm like, I can't do it, man.
Remember Violent J in the video though? It was like when he had just started cut. It was the first time I'd seen him since he cut a lot of weight. And the first time I seen that video, I thought it was from '97. I thought it was Malenko era Jay because he has that hoodie up. And you can't see that he doesn't have like long fucking dreads. The first time I glanced at it, I was like, "It's fucking Malenko."
Right.
But now it's just Jay in shape.
Yeah. You got anything else you want to talk about the Red Pop bonus disc?
The Prelude. The song that's the very beginning, they don't really rap or anything. It's just everybody talking, literally everybody on the label. I think that's the last like family era track.
Yeah, because a few months later, Twisted would leave the label. Yeah,
and everybody's on this. Like Blaze is on it, Jump's on it, Twisted's on it, ICP's on it. So I think that might be the last like track that everybody from the OG Juggalo family's on.
Yeah, that's true too. It's dope. It's kind of reminiscent of like Ryder's intros where they're all talking shit in the beginning.
Straight up, yep.
But that shit's dope.
The other one I have written down is just how weird it is that Hold Still, that Gabba Gabba song, fucking made it. Like, I guess that's another thing from Jay having kids at the time, and I guess they were watching that fucking Nickelodeon show, and he just changed it into like a Juggalo version of it. So that was really fucking odd. But yeah, I think the only one I had is the Prelude song. As lackluster as it is, might be the last ever appearance of all the fucking Psychopathic fam on fucking wax.
Yes, sir. I think you're right on that. I was actually thinking that listening to this album, I'm like, damn, this album came out in August. Twisted dropped Abominations a couple months later, October, right?
October 23rd, yep.
And then what, in November they were off the label?
December 12th. December 12th.
Crazy fucking chain of events. You get a new Jokerz card, which is banging. You get a new Twisted album, which is debatably their best record.
Arguably the best ever. Yeah.
And then fucking 2 months later, a month and a half later, they're off the label, and just shit has not been the same since.
Straight up. And like the craziest thing is you talk about how good Abominations was. No videos. We talked about how many videos this album got. Like Abominations got 0.
A big old fucking goose egg.
I'd have probably left after that. If I'd have handed somebody something that sounded as good as Abominations and I didn't get any fucking videos for it, I'd have probably been out the door too.
We'll talk about that in a couple months. I plan on doing a review for that album as well.
Oh yeah.
Just crazy chain of events leading up into 2012.
Another thing before the technical difficulties happened that I didn't get to mention is Code 187 got what 2-3 videos at the same time that Abomination's got 0.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, fuck a bunch of that.
And I don't know anybody that liked that album. As dope as Cold 187 is, you know, with the Above the Law and all that shit. But it's just, man, so fucking weird. I
got a better chance of locating that ninja that likes Freaky Tales than I do a ninja that likes that album.
I bet you're right.
Didn't the Purple Gang come out at the same time too? Because they're in the When I'm Clowning video, like they walk by. So there's a crazy amount of shit going on in Psychopathic in 2012.
Yep. The last edition we got is the White Pop edition, Mikey Clark's Extra Pop Emporium, which has outtakes and remixes from the original Mighty Death Pop album. This was the first one I got, so I played the shit out of this when I got it. And there's some dope remixes on here. I think we brought it up in the review, the Night of the Chainsaw remix with 3-6.
Yeah.
Even though it's DJ Paul and Juicy J, they kill it on there. Even though they're not really rapping about what the song is about, the shit is still there.
Yeah, like they just, especially Paul, his voice just works with the clowns, man. Like Killjoy Club, like just that's the perfect example of it.
Yep. Yeah, and Killjoy Club just a few years after this album.
Yep.
The Chris Benoit remix with Ice Cube and Scarface. Never in a million fucking years did I think ICP would be collaborating with Ice Cube or Scarface. I remember hearing back in the day that Ice Cube like would refuse to work with the clowns or something. Like that was like a rumor that I had heard. But when this happened, I was like, oh, it must not have been true. Probably somebody made that shit up because obviously he's on here and he kills it on that Chris Benoit remix.
And he was at the Gathering in this era too. So he was like probably more confident that the Juggalo. A lot of rappers, man, they think that they're going to show up at the Gathering and get like Bubba Sparks. Like they don't know that Bubba Sparks was an asshole to get Bubba Sparks. Like I remember Busta Rhymes was real fucking cautious and apprehensive about doing the Gathering because Method Man told him he's going to get fucked up because Method Man got hit with a beer can. And like I remember halfway into his set, like Busta Rhymes was like almost crying, saying like how much he couldn't believe how much love he was getting and shit. Like he's giving me cold chills whenever he was up there saying he couldn't believe how much love he was getting, and he'd be back anytime we wanted him. So like rappers just got to know their P's and Q's when they're there. Busta went out there and schooled that shit and fucking got mad love.
That's the thing. Like when you perform at the Gathering, you just got to know who you're performing for. Like you just got Jay always says ICP. They always give the artists a quick rundown before they go on stage. Yeah. Listen to that fucking rundown or do a little bit of research before you go because you can kill it. You just have to know what to do and what not to do. More importantly, what not to do.
And speaking of Red and Meth, what not to do is when Juggalos chant family at you, don't say fuck family. This is about hip hop because you will catch a beer in the head.
Because Juggalos will fucking be Juggalos and they'll fuck your shit up.
Straight fuck up. And they also kept saying, what up, Chicago? Like they were in like a tour city, like, none of it was in Illinois. Yes, it was also 4 or 5 hours from Chicago, and plus nobody there was from Chicago. There's Juggalos from everywhere. Right. So like it was like fucking Spinal Tap saying hello Cleveland all the time.
Right. Spinal Tap. That's a great movie.
Mine goes to 11.
Yeah. but why? It's like 11. Another track I thought I would never hear. This is so dope, the collaborations we got in this era. They did a song with Swollen Members. I'm a huge Swollen Members fan going back to like 01, 02, somewhere around there. The Bad Dreams, Balance Days. And hearing ICP and Swollen Members on a song, and it worked. It was a dope track.
I think you got to give a lot of credit to Mikey Clark for mixing that shit together, man. He mixes like two songs together that aren't the same song and makes it sound like the same song. So that motherfucker can just work some magic on remixes.
Super dope shit. The only Twisted collab that we got was the Scrubstitute Teachers with Twisted and Willie D. You know, another ghetto boy.
Ghetto boy.
I'm trying to remember because I didn't listen to any of the bonus discs. I'm just going off memory, but I don't remember that being a standout as much as I wanted it to be with Twisted and Willie D on it. Like that, like on paper, that should be fire as fuck.
Yeah, it's not a standout track for sure from what you're talking about with the artists that are on it.
Right. And then you got the Ghetto Rainbows, the soft ass R&B remix with
yeah. It's got the dude from Color Me Bad.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I love that shit. And
I remember like the last time I'd seen that dude from Color Me Bad before then, he was on like VH1's Where Are They Now? And he's working at an auto repair place replacing tires. And then he was singing on ICP's record like 2 years later.
Damn. Fucking A. And then probably the last standout for me would probably be the Forever remix with Ghetto Boys. We talked about it earlier. That's just Ghetto Boys fucking killed it on there. And that might be the last time all three Ghetto Boys were on a song together.
I think it is.
And I think
because they were beefing. They were beefing before then even. So I'm surprised they were all on that one.
Yeah, and I think the last time that they performed together was at the Gathering. They were supposed to, I believe they were supposed to go on tour, but then Bushwick died. So I could be wrong on the performance thing, but I think at least recording music wise, pretty sure this is the last time you hear Ghetto Boys on the same song together.
I know, like right before Bushwick died, they were supposed to be at the Gathering like a month later to perform like together for the first time in a long time. So you might be right on that one.
I remember because they performed at the Gathering, right? The Ghetto Boys.
Yeah.
And I remember Scarface fucking painted his face up and everything.
Yeah, it's dope, man. I love whenever fucking artists do shit like that. Like Crazy Bone, he didn't paint his face up, but like him and his whole crew rocked fucking Jekyll Brothers fucking hockey jerseys on stage during the Jekyll Brothers fucking era. That was always dope. Like 3-6 Mafia talking about them rocking the Jekyll Brothers shirt and the Sipping on Sizzler video.
Yep. Like I love seeing shit like that. So dope.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's super, especially for somebody like 3-6, man. Like back in 2000, you rocking an ICP shirt, some fucking people might stop fucking with your shit. Like, what are they fucking with these corny ass fucking clowns for? But they didn't give a fuck. They were rocking that shit, repping that shit, put them on their album.
Yeah, man. Like, dig into 3-6 history. They never gave a fuck. They were rapping about the devil and all sorts of fucked up shit in their earlier career. Like, they never gave a fuck. And DJ Paul still fucks with ICP and the Clowns.
He's big. He was signed to the label.
Yeah,
he released a fucking CD on the label.
Right.
I hope we get another Killjoy Club like Ouija and Killjoy Club. Come on.
I've been calling that for a few years now, but Ouija has just improved so much in the last few years. Like he's just absolutely killing it. Have Ouija in the group, man.
Throw Hex in there too.
Fire. That'd be dope. I really want Ouija and DJ Paul production. That would be fucking as much as I love Ouija and Devereaux, and I think they're the perfect match. Some Ouija and DJ Paul shit would be fire.
It's crazy you mentioned that because me and Mike was talking about the new Ouija album, and the thing we heard that we think it makes it so good is it seems like Devereaux's production is on more of a 3-6 fucking tip in this one. It sounds like old school Memphis shit, man. It's fucking fire. That new album is dope. Stale Wind.
Yeah, Stale Wind is arguably his best album, man. Like if you're sleeping on that shit, stop sleeping because that shit is fire.
Yeah, I think anybody that was mad that Ouija didn't get nominated for Album of the Year last year on the Fairgo Lover Awards, I don't think they'll be mad this year because I think that one's pretty much locked solid into being a nominee already. That shit's fire. It's the best album I've heard this year so far.
I was in the comments last year like, Ouija ain't even got a fucking nomination.
Straight up. I remember that. You put a video out.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, man.
Straight up. But I'm glad we waited for this one because this is the fucking album that should be nominated. I thought the last one was kind of like a mixed together shit. Like he always saves the fucking best songs for the full length that he's working on. So I figured like what the one last year wasn't the best material. This one was going to be, and it was. That fucking 6 foot hatchet, man. I fucking bumped that probably 30 times already.
Dude, Devereaux kills it, man. His bass hits on another level. Love Devereaux's production.
Yeah.
Love Ouija shit. You got any other notes from the White Pop edition?
The only other song I've got listed that you didn't mention is Pass It to the Sky that had Cottonmouth Kings on it. I thought that was a pretty dope song. It sounded like a classic Cottonmouth Kings song that would have been on like Rolling Stone, just had the clowns on it. Clowns always work well with Cottonmouth Kings all the way back to fucking High Society.
Yep. Again, we talk about a weird time, 2012. 2012 was a weird fucking time for Cottonmouth Kings too.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's when everything fell apart over there as well. They had fucking Dirtball in the group. It was 2012 was a fucked up year.
Yeah, it was definitely a year of change in the underground.
Without a doubt. Yeah, the
Cottonmouth Kings was coming off adding Dirtball, like you said. Everybody thought it was going to be Saint because they put up like shadow of a bald dude in the fucking promo and said something. A king was coming. It's like, well, that's obviously Saint.
Yeah.
I don't care who that was, unless it was fucking Saint. It was going to be a disappointment. Shaggy Two Dope could have been sitting in that fucking throne, and it would have been a disappointment.
Yep. Anybody but Saint was a disappointment. You're right. But yeah, Mighty Death Pop almost made it 2 hours. I love doing these fucking shows, man. It's mad fun. Kind of teased at doing the Abominations review.
Hell yeah.
So we'll definitely have to do that. I think I might add somebody else to that one. And we talked about doing a Rolling Stone review. That's going to be turning 20 this year. Like, 2022 is a dope year for album anniversaries for sure.
Yeah, a lot of good shit was coming out in 2002 and 2012 for it to be like rounded to 10s this year.
Right. But yeah, you got anything you want to promote before we bounce the fuck up out of here?
Every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Fairgo Lovers 5-piece. We count down 5 random things or something from the Juggalo world this past week. Like I said, we counted down Mighty Death Pop. The week before that, we did our top 5 songs from Royal Highness. Had Roan on there talking about that classic Cottonmouth Kings album. It's just time to get on fucking Fairgo Lovers and reminisce about fucking how dope this fucking scene is and has been for the past fucking 20, 30 years. And about drama or no shit like that. We just try to get on there and make it about the music like you do.
Fuck yeah, man. That's what it's all about. That's why we're here. That's how we all started. And that's how I plan on fucking going out. The music, man. Love it. I appreciate everybody that tuned into this shit. Happy birthday to the Mighty Death Pop. Thank y'all for the support. Much love. I'm Ron Bono of the Beneath the Dirt podcast. Until next time, we out. Peace.